welcome to Nelson All Over Cards. My name is Nelson, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the new by the same token accessories that we can implement into our LCG games. They did send me these accessories, and I have partnered with them. So if you are interested in any of these, there's a link down below that will get you 5% off your order, as well as help financially support this channel. But we're going to dive into it. We got tokens slash dials, and I will just say, some of these dials, all of the dials, but some of them in particular are freaking gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And so we'll talk about each one of these, but we got Marvel Champions, Arkham Horror, and Earthborn Rangers, a token set for that line, which is a new line that they just launched. So let's dive into it. Let's talk about Marvel Champions first. We're going to highlight each kind of token. I'm going to show them off, but if you have any questions, just ask me down below. The first thing I wanted to talk about are these new Hero Health dials. Now, the Hero Health dials are acrylic, and they come in a ton of different colors. They have each one of these here is for the different aspect colors. So if you're playing leadership, you can grab the blue, or if you just really like blue, grab the blue. What I will say is that these turn so smooth. The ability to change the health here just feels like a premium experience. These are magnetic, so if you wanted to switch out the colors, you absolutely could do that, which could be kind of fun, especially if you're playing like a Spider-Woman or something along those lines. If you wanted to have multiple different colors, or if you just wanted to customize it to make it look like, you know, your experience. And so these are really, really neat. I really do enjoy these. I play with these whenever I'm not streaming. When I'm streaming, these are a little bit harder to see because they are so compact. I do really like how small that they are and easily transportable. And so those are the dials. We did talk about Spider-Woman just there, and that's going to bring us to the next token in the lineup that was sent. Now, you've probably seen it on the stream before, but we have the Spider-Woman stab boost modifiers. What's really cool here is that they've added a pink token here for the pool aspect. So Spider-Woman can play those pool cards, and before this, we did not have a pink aspect modifier. And this is actually one of those that it's a challenge that I want to try. I want to try and get +5 because you can. She can only bring 2 aspects, but she does have aspect cards in her kit. And so I think it'd be really fun to have a +5 in a turn. So you'd have to play all 5 aspect cards. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Alrighty, moving on, we have some more hero-specific tokens, which is really cool. I like the fact that they have so many like different specific tokens. So if you have a favorite hero, or if you like the tokens and you want to bling out a specific hero, you absolutely can. We're going to start out by talking about a hero that is not out yet, but we do have tokens for it. This is Nightcrawler. So we do have these Bamf tokens. Nightcrawler has the Bamf upgrade, and so these tokens are going to be able to be used in place of that Bamf upgrade if you wanted to. I do really like the colors here. Unfortunately, I don't have Nightcrawler yet. He's coming out later this year, but I will definitely be using these Bamf tokens to highlight him. But a character that we have gotten, and we do have recently, and one that I really like, is Iceman. And Iceman got a lot of love from By the Same Token this year, with 2 new tokens. We have the Frostbite tokens, which are these translucent blue tokens, which really fit that theme of Iceman. So Iceman has those Frostbite upgrades, which give -1 to the attached character's stats. So you can use these Frostbite tokens to place there. We also got some Frozen Solid tokens. So Frozen Solid is another one of another one of Iceman's upgrades. And Frozen Solid right here, we can use this to denotate the Frozen Solid condition or the upgrade that we can play here. I'm going to transition real quick and talk about the Disguise token. Now, I showed off the Disguise token in one of my previous streams, but the Disguise token is to accompany a new card that we just got in Jubilee's kit, which, you guessed it, Disguise. And so Disguise allows you to exhaust your alter ego to remove 2 threat from a scheme. And I wanted to talk about these together because I am posting a 2-handed recorded gameplay with Jubilee and Iceman. We're going full control. And so we're going to be utilizing the new tokens that we have here with the Disguise, because Jubilee is going to be running a Justice deck. And then we have all these really pretty Frostbite tokens for Iceman. And so that should be posting in the next couple of days. So if you wanted to see these specific tokens in action, make sure you check out that video. Another card specific token that we have got are these side counters. These are for the step 4 cuckoo card. Now these side counters, I actually haven't played that card as much as I want to, but these cards represent the tokens that you can use to cancel and reveal different treachery cards, which can be life-saving. We've got 2 more hero specific tokens before we dive into some of the new encounter slash villain tokens that we got from Buy the Same Token. We've got the sidekick token, so this can go on your sidekick whenever you play that upgrade. This is going to denotate that they are in fact now your sidekick, and you can trigger all the cards that reference your sidekick, like a side-by-side or anything like that. It also has the +2 here to make sure that you remember that they do get that +2 health bonus, which is really important for keeping that sidekick around. And then we've got the suppressing fire token. This one is for that suppressing fire aggression upgrade, where you can play on the minion that card is attached to, and then you can kind of declutter your play area. Also, I just really like the orange in this suppressing fire, so you can play that there. Now we did get a couple of encounter slash villain tokens as well, like the active 4 Horsemen counter. Now the 4 Horsemen is the multi-villain scenario that came to us in this most recent campaign box, where we're playing against 4 villains at the same time, but there's only 1 active. And so this active counter is a themed active counter for that 4 Horsemen encounter set. And I will say, I think that 4 Horsemen is probably one of my more favorite multi-villain encounter sets. And so having a themed token specifically for that is pretty cool. And so we'll move that around. Maybe I'll get a game. Maybe I'm still working on some of my 2-handed games as I'm like going to be traveling and everything for like Gen Con. But maybe I'll get a sidekick game where I'm going up against that 4 Horsemen, so I can use more of these tokens. Next up, we got the Apocalypse power counters. So with Apocalypse, after step 1, you're adding those power counters to the main scheme in order for, and then once we hit that 4th counter, we're gonna discard cards to get those superpower traded attachments or cards or just horrific things that Apocalypse 2 is throwing at us. And so these are tokens specifically for that encounter. They have Apocalypse there on them, etched in kind of a golden color, which is really cool. And so, you know, we've got double-sided tokens going 1 to 2 all the way up to 4, so that we can, you know, bring the pain with the superpower cards. We've got mission attempt counters. So these are for the campaign mechanic. In our Age of Apocalypse box, we have the mission side schemes kind of set aside different area of the game. And so these are counters because you can only attempt those missions so many times. And so if you do fail the mission, you're going to place a mission attempt counter. And I do really like the red. I think that the red pops really nicely here with the X-Jet on here. So we're going to get to see those mission counters show up there. So there we go with the mission counters. And then finally, the last token for Marvel Champions we are going to be talking about in this care package sent by the Same Token are pursuit counters. These are pursuit counters for the standard 3 encounter set. With the standard 3 release, we got the Pursuit by the Past, where we're adding pursuit counters to Pursuit by the Past. Once we hit that dreaded threshold of 4 in solo, we do have to bring out our Nemesis set. And so these are also double-sided. And so I'm going to be using these to track that progress on Pursuit by the Past going forward. So you will see a lot of use out of these because I'm playing Standard 3 almost exclusively at this point. So those are the Marvel Champions upgrades. If you want to see anything more up close or anything like that, let me know. I will be traveling, but I will try and get those pictures to you all as soon as possible. But as always, just very, very incredibly high quality stuff. Let's transition over and look at the brand new Earthborn Rangers line that Buy the Same Token has put out. And it is all wooden. That's right. I really like the acrylic stuff that Buy the Same Token does, and I have acrylic for Arkham and for Marvel Champions, but the wooden stuff from Lord of the Rings is some of my favorite products that they make. And so to see the aesthetic of wood in Earthborn Rangers both fits thematically very, very well, because Earthborn Rangers, you're kind of a ranger going around in this post-apocalyptic world where kind of nature is reclaimed, and it's a very nature-driven game. So seeing a wooden version of those components just makes a ton of sense here. You have the ranger board, and so this is where your ranger as well as your aspect card is going to go. And then you have token spaces for your aspect counters. So you'll see that on the screen right now. Basically, these are the resources that you have that you can spend in Earthborn Rangers, and based on like agility, you're going to get a certain amount of that at based on your aspect card through character, or when you're making your character in character creation. So you're going to choose that, and then these little holders can hold the uses, and you're going to spend this exactly like you would resources in Earthborn Rangers. You also have just like a really organized area for that. We also have active player tokens, or not active player, but player tokens, because you can place your player tokens on different cards to say, hey, I'm attempting either interacting with this card, or I'm going to try and assist somebody if you're playing multiplayer. And so we have all the colors, and the color I think on these wood components turned out really well. With all the Lord of the Rings stuff that I have, there is no color. It is kind of just that black kind of wood burnt feel, which looks awesome, kind of very similar to the Earthborn Rangers Ranger board. But we are also getting some color in these wooden components, which looks really, really nice. And so seeing like if you're playing the red player, you now have this red player this red player token that you can place out in lieu of the cardboard components that come in the box for Earthborn Rangers. And yeah, we also got some ready exhausted tokens. I do like how they go from like a vertical landscape to a horizontal landscape when they are being used, or after that you've been exhausted. But you're going to be using these for your ranger has abilities that require you to exhaust, anything like that. If you've watched the channel, you know how much of a fan of ready exhaust tokens I am, especially when I have a limited play area. So if I'm going and playing at a game store or something that we're going to be cramming a lot of people at a table, being able to, you know, consolidate my play area and not need to rotate those cards and just flip the tokens, been really, really nice. We also have generic counters for our different cards here. These are, I like the shape as well. I do like that we don't have just those square or circle shapes anymore. We're starting to get some pretty abstract shapes, which is really nice. We have progress tokens in that triangle shape, which I think is new for Buy the Same Token. At least I don't have anything in the triangle shape, especially in the wood. And so these are really nice. The green looks really good on this wood. And then we have some damage tokens as well, which are double-sided for 1 and 2 damage for Earthborn Rangers. I haven't played Earthborn Rangers in a little bit, but with the Kickstarter and just, I need to get back into it. I missed something in my original playthrough, and it just kind of yeah, I just fell out of it. But there is standalone modes, so I'm hoping that once I do get back from some vacation, we're going to be picking Earthborn back up, especially now that we have these Deluxified components and playing a little bit more Earthborn Rangers on the channel. So we'll probably see these in use. I think my favorite here are probably these red, which I think it's the red aspect icon tokens. I think the red works just really well. It also is on the damage token. They just work really, really well on that wood. But I did save what I think is the best for last, and that is the Arkham Horror tokens and dials. And the dials are the most immaculate things I think Buy the Same Token has ever created. And so we're going to save those for last because they are so freaking nice. So let's talk about these specific tokens that we have first. First, we're going to start off by talking about the Hemlock Veil, Clue, and Doom tokens. So we have these in both a wooden and a acrylic. Now, I do a lot of the Arkham Horror stuff in acrylic, and so I think in my gameplay, I'm going to be using the acrylic, but it is nice to see the wood and how that's transitioned, or how the design is transitioned into a wood finish as well. The wood is really nice, but I do love the colors on the acrylic version. So we have the Clue, with this white kind of owl looking thing. And I have not played Hemlock Vale, and so I do know that, you know, there's a lot of theming that goes in with this, but we are going to be breaking out Hemlock Vale here pretty soon on the channel. And so now that we have all these deluxified components specific to that campaign, we're going to have some fun with it. We also have on the other side the Doom version, which is kind of this deer or antlered type thing. I think it's a deer. But I love the red. I love the red in this acrylic. I think it looks really well, where the red is not necessarily the main focus of the token, where the where, like, if you look at the health tokens that I have, the red is kind of outlining the image, whereas this one is kind of a black outlining the image and the red is the fill-in. I think it looks really nice, and so I'm really excited to be using some of these. We have new stat boost, so we have +3, +4 stat boost in both the both the kind of whitewashed and the colored versions of the tokens. I usually use the white. I think it looks pretty clean. I like the homogeny of all across all the tokens for the player board of just having a full white. But then also these colors make me kind of, I'm not going to say change my thoughts on that. I actually haven't ever seen the colored in person, but I do really like, you know, the strength bonus versus the white. I think I do still really like the white. I like how clean it looks. But we do have, you know, you'll see these right next to each other on the screen where you can get the full color or the white version of these. I know what I'm putting in my cart for the next buy the same token because I don't have the +1 or +2 stat boost modifiers. And seeing that there's +3 or +4 makes me really want to figure out how to get +4 to a stat. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I know that there are, you know, characters out there like, I think it's Calvin, who can really start messing with that, and Ashcan, I guess, can really start messing with some of those with Dark Horse and stuff. But +4 seems intense. I want to try that. The last tokens that we're talking about before we go into these immaculate dials, we have a couple of card specific tokens. We have the Hatchet token and the Pitchfork token, which are new cards that we got, where if you fail you can lose these, and so you can place these on the location, and then you're gonna have to do some actions to get them back. So it's a cool way to kind of put those tokens out there and show, like, oh my goodness, I lost my hatchet, it's now here at the location. And so those are some new tokens based on some new cards. We've got new shotgun ammo. Now I have some of the ammo counters, and you'll probably see some of those on the screen next to this. But we do have the shotgun for the new shotgun. It's a 2-shot, so you got a 2 and you flip it over to a 1-shot. And so we have that for that specific. We have matchbooks for the new matchbook card that helps the survivors with some of their investigate. But what I like about here is that the graphics actually change based on the 2 versus the 1 side. So on the 2 it's like a box, whereas on the 1 side it's just a singular match. And so you're going to come in with 3 counters on those match boxes. But this is where I'm getting excited right here, is because these new dials. Now we have 2 of these, and we're going to do we're going to look at each one of these individually. The first one is going to be a Doom dial, but look at this dial. I mean, it is immaculate. I love the colors. I love how smooth it is to rotate, and to count the Doom here is just nice. It also has a little kickstand, so you can set these up. In a live stream, I'm shooting top down, so I never use the kickstands for for live streams, but you can use these kickstands to stand them up. And most, I think if not all of their kind of holders or their dials do this, where you can utilize and stand them up to kind of get that perspective as you're looking at the table. But being able to just rotate and count Doom this way, I mean, it looks so nice. Like this one is insane. And this is not even the prettiest dial. I think the dial that is I think, I'm going to go ahead and say it, I think this is the prettiest thing that Buy the Same Token has ever made, are the Bless and Curse token dial. So this is going to be here so that you can count your so you can count your blessings. Nice. So you can count the blessings and curses in that chaos bag, as we're getting more and more investigators that can manipulate and interact with that mechanic. The Bless tokens, being the +1 draw another, curse tokens being a -1 draw another. but this is just absolutely stunning. The combination of both the transparent and the opaque acrylic, which also is on the Doom, just gives so much color, so much depth and vibrance to this. It's kind of almost like a mirror, like I can see myself in it, and it just looks so nice. It also is kickstandable, which is a new word that I've come up with, and I hope that you all like it. But it is kickstandable, so you can set it up and you can count and see how much Doom or how much bless or curse is in the bag, because I do believe, and again, I haven't played everything for Hemlock Vale, but I do believe that it actually is a pretty big implication for either one of the investigators or the mechanics in Hemlock Vale. Probably know here pretty soon in a couple of weeks when we do break that box out. But this is going to be nice, and if it is an investigator, we're definitely going to be playing someone that's going to manipulate so that we can use this dial, because this is really nice. I love the purple. I love the it's like a light gold for the blessed side, and just really well done. So those are kind of the new buy the same token and what got sent to me as kind of a fun little package. Again, I have entered into a partnership with Buy the Same Token, and so if you are interested in any of this or anything on their website, please use that link down below, because that will get you 5% off your order, as well as help financially support this channel. So I love Buy the Same Token. I've used Buy the Same Token for a long time before we ever even entered into this agreement. And so I feel very, very confident in saying that this is really high quality stuff, really nice stuff. And I hope that you are able to find, enjoy, and pick out something new that will bling out your game. Awesome. Thank you so very much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.